Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about another new chapter in state syllabus. It is in unit 2, that is microbiology. We have already completed the topic of microbes in human welfare, strategies for enhancement in food production, that is plant breeding. Those two topics we have already completed. Students, now we are going to discuss about one more important and new chapter. We are starting from this lecture, that is microbiology. What is our topic? Microbiology. Okay, I think you know very well about the topic microbiology, because we have learned something about microbiology, about the microbes, about the small tiny particles of living forms in the first year botany. Now here we are going to discuss about in detail information about two very important microbes which they are playing prime role in the human endeavor, human activities. Every time these two are play prime role among all other microbes. Of course, other microbes are also play pivotal role, but here through this chapter we are trying to understand about two important microbes, that is bacteria and viruses, as two of the chapters what they given in the topic microbiology. Now one more time we better to start our topic. Though we have understand from the first year botany, though we have understood well about microbiology from the first year botany, now we better to discuss one more time about the microbes like bacteria and viruses as two chapters what they given in the unit 2 microbiology. Now got the point, students? Listen. So here microbiology, the term microbiology is derived from the language, I think you know, Greek language. The term microbiology is derived from, note down students, derived from Greek language. It is very important topic. Everyone should know about microbiology. It is as usual common topic for all of us. To protect from so many diseases, we have to get right awareness and alertness to all the harmful microbes, and also we better to know very well about the useful microbes which they are present in our surroundings. Okay, students? So the term microbiology is derived from the language Greek. You know, whenever we are going to use the term microbiology to pronounce it, we have three different terms are constructed the term, a single term like microbiology. Once you see those three terms what hide in the single term microbiology, three terms are constructed in the term microbiology. In the term microbiology, we seen three different terms are there. First, we better to discuss something well about those three terms, what actually they are. In that, microbiology. See here, micro, bios, logos. Three terms. So here micros means what it is? A small or tiny or invisible. What it is, students? Invisible. Okay. Micros, bios. I think you know well about bios. Bios means life, living components. Okay. Logos. Logos means discourse or study of. Study of. Okay. So totally these three are the terms which they are needed to construct a term microbiology. So here the complete meaning of microbiology means a small or tiny invisible living organisms and their discourse or study. So finally the definition for the microbiology is as that scientific study of, note down students, the scientific study of microbes or microorganisms. The scientific study of microbes is called as microbiology. Is called as microbiology. Note down, this microbiology is a branch of biology. You please note that point. It is a branch of biology because here also living components we generally seen which we are calling microbes. That's it is come under the branch that is biology, which is a discuss or which discourse of living components. Understood? Here living components, but they have very very tiny and a very small sized structures. Understood? That's why these organisms they kept under the category of biology, microbiology. Now got the point? So this is the branch of biology which deals with the microorganisms in the scientific study or in the scientific way. We are going to discuss about the life of living organisms or life of living things. Understood? And about their structure, about their function, and about their classification, and about their communication with the some other living components which they are present in the same habitat or in the same ecosystem or on the earth surface or on the earth planet. Now got the point, students? Yes, everything in the scientific way we are going to study. We are going to learn more about these invisible particles or these small and tiny particles as living components which come under the biology, but based on their size, microscopic in size. That's why that biology now we are calling as microbiology. It is a separate category of organisms. What we are going to discuss about the living organisms, of course, we only discuss about invisible living components and their study, scientific study, we just understand through a branch of biology called microbiology. What it is, students? Microbiology. It is a branch of biology. Here microbes, especially what kinds of organisms we are discussing? Those are called microorganisms. Microorganisms are microbes. Now got the point? Microbes are microorganisms. Microbes are microorganisms like, tell me what they are. You know, protozoans. We are discussing about protozoans or protozoa. We are discuss about microscopic algae and fungi, microscopic algae and fungi, and bacteria bacteria and viruses. And viruses. About all these living components, about all these microscopic organisms, just we study in the scientific way through the branch of biology called microbiology. Of course, viruses are not completely considered as living organisms because they are acellular. They have no true cellular organization. Understood? That's why when they are present outside the living cell, just simply they considered as non-living components. But once they enter into the living cell or host cell, they started to continue their cellular machinery for giving infections or giving their metabolic activities. So that's why when they are present inside the host cell, they are calling as living. So, but they are also participating in the so many communications and so many interactions in the form of infections or in the form of whatever the action shown by these particles. These particles in the living organism's body, that's why they also come under that particular branch of biology called microbiology. Now got the point, students? Understood? In the microbiology, we are discussing about microbes like protozoans, microscopic algae and microscopic fungi, bacteria, viruses. Microscopic fungi like, yeast and molds, bread molds and different kinds of molds. All those are the microscopic fungi which generally we are discussing. This is the little information about the microbiology. The term which derived from the Greek language, it means study or discourse of small tiny living invisible particles through scientific way. Scientific way is called as microbiology. This particular discourse or scientific study, okay, here, okay, the scientific study of microbes in the ways of cell structure, functions, and for the purpose of classification and for the purpose of communications with human endeavor. You please note that point. Understand? Okay, students, this is the little definition and the little information about microbiology. Okay, microbiology, through which branch of biology we are going to study, scientific study well about microbes like protozoans, microscopic algae, microscopic fungi, bacteria and viruses. Now got the point, students? Here one more important point we need to discuss. Okay, the branch of biology like microbiology, which comprises of all these microbes or microorganisms are vast number. Vast number means more in number. Vast number on the Earth planet. On the Earth planet. Okay. And these are the microbes. These are the microbes are ubiquitous. You please note this point. It is very, very important. Ubiquitous. Ubiquitous means omnipresent. Omnipresent. Omnipresent means we found them everywhere. Found them everywhere. On this earth planet, everywhere we can find the microbes or microorganisms like protozoans, microscopic algae, fungi, bacteria, viruses, etc. Understood? Understood, students? So that's why those are called omnipresent or ubiquitous organisms, especially among all these microscopic organisms. Okay, the bacteria play very much a role for their existence on the earth planet everywhere, ubiquitous, omnipresent. Understood? All these are the microbes, whatever it may be, they have very simple structure. They have simple structure, students. You please note down. Simple structure. Okay, then we can easy to study well about those organisms, but the required device or instrument it is to watch them, to see them, to observe them. We require a device called microscope. The microbes which they are going to naked by us by using a device called microscope. Microscope is a device through which we visit microbes. We are going to visit the microbes, requires a device called microscope through which we watch or observe the microorganisms which are small, tiny, living particles. Now you got the point? Without a device like microscope, it is not possible to watch them. It is not possible to observe them. It is not possible to visit with our naked eye directly, because its size range is very less and too small and too tiny particles. Understood, students? To magnify their size requires a device which is constructed by lens, a suitable lens, okay, which is going to give a right idea about the shape and structure of the microorganisms when you are going to placing them under the microscope to watch them, to observe them. Then easy to visit them and easy to observe the shape and structure of the microorganisms or microbes which they are going to present in the branch of biology like microbiology. Now got the point, students? Understood? Understood? So all these are the organisms in the extreme conditions they are living. Okay, their habitat is a diverse habitat. They have, all these are the microbes generally have diverse habitat. Diverse habitat. What it is? Diverse habitat means everywhere on the earth. Okay, whatever the climatic conditions, whatever the place it may be, on the surface of the body of humans, plants, other animals, or inside the body of living organisms, whoever they may be, whether they are plants or animals, human beings, whoever they may be, whatever the particles which we see in the nature like soil, water, air, everywhere we see these microorganisms and their presence. Understood? That's why the number is countless on the earth surface. In their environment just we are living. It is not our environment. Because based on the number, their number is countless. Understood? It is not possible to count them by using a number. Understood? That much population we are observing, population of microbes we are observing on the earth. So in their little environment, in their environment only just we are living. Try to understand. We thought our population is very high. Just of course we are macroscopic, but they are microscopic. Within very less space they are going to existed in crores of microorganisms or lakhs of microorganisms. Understood, students? because its size is too small. In a very little space, it is enough to exist thousands and lakhs of microorganisms. Now got the point? So that's why and also they are present everywhere. That's why we are calling them as omnipresent. That's why those are called as omnipresent or ubiquitous organisms. Ubiquitous, everywhere they found. Like they are present in all the habitat, like in the soil we seen, or in the water we seen, or in the air we seen. Understood? Or on and in, or on or in the humans, on the surface of the body of the humans, or plants, animals, etc. Whatever the organism it may be, or whatever the dead and decaying matter it may be. On the dead and decaying matter also we see in these type of microorganisms which they are going to decompose the materials. Understood, students? Everywhere, wherever you just want to check it, are non-living objects what we have in our surroundings, or in our nature, or in our environment, in our home, or outside the home, wherever you want to collect any piece of material or things what you are using regularly, clothes, or whatever the watches, whatever the materials you are using, utensils, on each and every, if they are not proper cleaning, just simply we are observing those microorganisms. Though we are doing proper cleaning in the small edges also, those organisms and their presence is there. So that's why they are ubiquitous organisms or omnipresent organisms which they are found by us everywhere. Have you got the point, students? So here, this much great information first brought into the light. This is the microbiology born or birth year of microbiology. Birth year of microbiology was 1674. What is the period of time? It is 1674, means it is started from 1673 to 1674. In which time, at which time a great scientist who brought the idea of invisible world into the light. Into the light means not directly they brought them into the light, means not torchlight or tube light. Now got the point? Light year means what? The entire world and the population human population who have a right idea about the living organisms as invisible particles which they are also present along with the macroscopic organisms. That microscopic and tiny particles and their presence and their origin and their observation, just only their information just only brought into the light, means brought into the ideas, brought into the minds of people who are on the earth planet. Now got the point? Especially the scientific world, aware, alert, by observing, by taking that idea about the living organisms which are newly, of course they are present, they are only the first living organisms on the land. But no person give an idea about them. But in that year 1674, the first person as the scientist who brought that information about the microorganisms. Microorganisms are microbes into the scientific world. In the year 1674, which is the year we formerly known as the birth year of microbiology. In that year only, the great scientist submitted his experiments, submitted his thesis, submitted his ideas, opinions by giving with suitable drawings to the particular scientific institution in the world. Whatever the scientific approach given by scientists, examined by the scientific institution, that is the Royal Society of London. Royal Society of London. To this particular scientific institution which examine the approaches or ideas or experiments or whatever the information given by the scientist first observed and submitted by a great personality as a scientist Okay, he is Anthony or Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Anthony van Leeuwenhoek was the scientist first who taught about the invisible world. Invisible world. Later we will discuss about this scientist. First you better to remember that scientist who first brought the idea of invisible world. Invisible world means invisible living organisms. Invisible living organisms means microorganisms and their origin and their presence and its observations done first time by the scientist Anthony van Leeuwenhoek and submitted his experiments to the Royal Society of London in the year 1674. So in that, from that year only onwards, from 1674 onwards, every scientific every scientific institutions and the persons are having idea about the living world like microbial world. Understood? Microbial world. That's why that year just we understand, they regarded as that year was the birth year or born year of microbiology. Now got the point, students? And that scientist, later we will discuss about that scientist. Okay, along with him, some other scientists also given their pioneer contributions. That scientists are, in 19th century, these two scientists taught very well about, after the Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, that they also taught very well about that, they also given idea about that microbial world. That scientists are Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur and one more scientist, Robert Koch. One more scientist we must follow to remember, Robert Koch. So finally these three scientists, one Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, two Louis Pasteur, three Robert Koch. These three scientists are formed. Of course, all those three are not together to make, but their ideas formed the foundation of this particular subject, microbiology. So the microbiology and its idea given by these three scientists only. Understood? Where they are present everywhere, in the soil, in the water, in the air, or inside the body or outside the body of animals, plants, humans, everybody, living and non-living objects. On each and every object they are present. Understood? That much wide range of, wide number of invisible living particles are going to observed by the first scientist who seen those organisms, that scientist Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, who first submitted his ideas about invisible world to the Royal Society of London. Now got the point, students? Understood about these microorganisms and their functions. Especially these are very much important for knowing well about their cell structure and their functions, and it is very much important for classification and their communications with the humans endeavor, or in the daily life, how do they play prime role. Understood? Some are they are useful, some are they are harmful. Understood? Whatever it may be, just we have little information, little bit we know very well about this microbial world, what we have learnt in the first year botany. Right, students? So next we are going to discuss about that, topics which they are present in this unit, microbiology. The topics are two topics we have. What they are? Those two topics are, the first topic in the microbiology unit is bacteria. You please remember. What is the first topic here? It is bacteria. bacteria. Now got the point? Bacteria. And the next one is, second one is viruses. Viruses. So these two are the topics we are going to discuss here. These two are the topics what we are discussing here. Understood, students? In the chapter microbiology. Now have a look into the chapter bacteria. Before going to discuss about that bacteria, we better to discuss about the scientist Antony van Leeuwenhoek, what contributions he given into the field of microbiology. Okay, students? Okay, students. So here, in this particular unit microbiology, we are going to discuss well about the chapters bacteria and about viruses. Now got the point, students? So before going to discuss about the chapters, we better to discuss about some scientists, what contributions they made in the field of microbiology. Understood? In that the first scientist, you better to enlist all the scientists who are going to, about which scientists we are discussing in the chapter microbiology. Here the first scientist who completely credited in the field of, in the branch of biology like microbiology, who formerly known as the father of microbiology, and the first scientist who brought the ideas of invisible particles or invisible living components into the scientific world. Okay, that scientist is Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Antony van Leeuwenhoek was the scientist who given very good idea about the living organisms. Okay, in the year 1674, basically he was a Dutch merchant. Who is he? Dutch merchant. Okay, who had a very good habit, okay, hobby. He has a hobby that is making its own making, that is handheld microscope. Handheld microscope. Handheld microscope is a microscope which is constructed by using lens which increases or which magnifies object's size is about 266 times increases than a normal cell. But the scientist Antony van Leeuwenhoek was a Dutch merchant, okay, and he had a very good hobby, that is making handheld microscope. By using lens, it make this particular, he made that microscope, which is eventually he just simply used that microscope which is going to magnify the objects, what he is squinting, what he observed of living components which they are present, which he is observing through the handheld microscope, his own microscope. Now got the point? He had very much interest to watch such kinds of activities. So he was the scientist Antony van Leeuwenhoek, squinting objects. Here squinting means look at the objects look at the objects by partly closed eyes. Partly closed eyes. Whatever the objects, if you want to watch them, then just our eyes are partly closed to clearly observe the small and tiny particles. Like that only he had very much interest to watch such kinds of small, tiny, invisible particles wherever they are present. Mostly he observed that small, tiny particles, squinting objects on non-living things like pins and what we call water droplets and different kinds of pond water or available water, whatever it may be collected, that is in the water droplets by collecting teeth scrapings, means on teeth whatever the scrapings is formed na, that is our teeth scraplings he is collecting, and in that only he observed invisible living components, and he called them as, and Antony von Leeuwenhoek called them as animalcules. Finally we understood that animalcules, what he announced, that invisible small moving objects, what he observed are squinting through the small handheld microscope and its own made device. Through that, by using lens, he observed the invisible particles and their movement only. Then immediately he called them as, every time he called them as animalcules. Animalcules means small living moving particles. Now got the point? Later we understood them as bacteria and protozoans. Bacteria and protozoa. Understood? These two are the organisms mostly observed by the scientist Antony von Leeuwenhoek in all the materials like pins, whatever the pins he available, or water droplets or teeth scrapings, whatever the material he collected to watch those invisible particles which they actually present in the different kinds of media. In all the media he observed those invisible living particles. Why they are living? They are moving. But they are too small. That organisms he called as animalcules. Later we understood them as bacteria and protozoa. Now got the point? Understood, students? And he was the scientist who first brought that idea about the invisible world into the scientific world in the year 1674. That's why that year we are calling what birth year of microbiology, or born year of microbiology. Now got the point? Understood? And about some other scientists we also discussed here. One more scientist, who is he? Louis Pasteur. In 1850s, he made so many contributions and he announced these bacteria. He announced bacteria as chemical factories. He announced them as chemical factories which brings different changes in, or great changes in nature. Whatever the chemicals they released by the bacteria, they are very much important chemical substances which brought so many changes in the nature. That's why that bacteria announced as chemical factories by the scientist Louis Pasteur. He was a scientist who made new techniques made new techniques of pasteurization, and pasteurization and different vaccines and different vaccines. Understood? Right, students? And he done extraordinary works on bacteria. Extraordinary work on bacteria. Okay, the study of bacteria are called bacteriology. You please remember, the study of bacteria is called bacteriology. Understood? Okay, on that bacteria, that scientist Louis Pasteur done extraordinary work. That's why formerly he regarded as the father of bacteriology. Father of bacteriology. It is a new branch of biology. It is a new branch of biology. Bacteriology, study of bacteria. The scientific study of bacteria. The scientific study of bacteria is called bacteriology. On that, a great scientist Louis Pasteur done very much contributions, and who given very new discoveries like inventions and new innovations what given by the scientist Louis Pasteur as pasteurization and different vaccination techniques and vaccines also given to us by great scientists like Louis Pasteur, formerly known as the father of bacteriology. And here we discussed about Antony van Leeuwenhoek was the first scientist who brought invisible world into the scientific world. That's why that scientist regarded as Antony van Leeuwenhoek regarded as the father of microbiology. Father of microbiology. Note down, students. Understand? So, these two are very, very important scientists. Along with these two scientists, we must discuss about one more scientist, about Robert Koch. Robert Koch in the year 1870s time, he only the scientist what already we discussed as a founder or formed the foundation of the microbiology. Formed the foundation of this subject, microbiology. And he was the scientist who given an idea about the infectious diseases through the theory, that is germ theory of diseases. You please remember, it is very important bit. Germ theory of diseases, this concept given by the scientist Robert Koch. So these three scientists play pivotal role in the microbial world. Okay, one more scientist we need to talk very well about, that scientist Ehrenberg in the year 1829, who first coined the term bacteria for the microorganisms, what first observed by the scientist, one of the living objects observed by the scientist Antony van Leeuwenhoek along with protozoa. Understood, students? Now have a look into the bacteria, what it is, where it is, and what kinds of concepts we are discussing in the chapter bacteria. Okay? Students, now we focus our concentration on our chapter bacteria, which is the first chapter of microbiology. Understood? So, bacteria are the smallest living organisms, invisible living components, which are more in number when compared to the other microbes. Understood? When compared to other microbes, its number is very high. Innumerous organisms we are observing along with other microbes which are present on the earth. Understood? Broad category of organisms, broad number of organisms we are observing as bacteria. when compared to other microbes in the microbiology. Understood, students? Because the main important characteristic feature of bacteria is the term ubiquitous is more fit to bacteria. The term ubiquitous or omnipresent or these two are the terms are more fit to bacteria. Understood? Everywhere we found them everywhere. We found them everywhere. Already I said, okay. Not only the expecting habitat, not only that expecting habitat, unexpected habitat, unexpected regions on the earth planet we are observing these microorganisms like bacteria. Bacteria are also living, not only living in the general conditions, they are not only living in the general conditions, they are also living in unexpected regions on the earth. Unexpected regions on the earth. We are not expecting any life in those conditions. In that conditions also, the life of living organisms like bacteria is present. Understood, students? Everywhere just we are expecting to see a category of microbes like bacteria. Understood? So, extreme conditions, the earth. Extreme conditions like, what are the extreme conditions? Here extreme conditions like hot vents, a place which is too much heat, habitat which is too much hot. In that conditions also these bacteria are going to be survive. So hot vents, the hot sulfur springs, understand, and two extreme cool conditions, extreme cool conditions, okay, these category of organisms, these are categories of organisms like bacteria is present. Here one important point. The term bacteria gives meaning is as a small or tiny living particles. A small or tiny living particles. It is the meaning of a term bacteria. Understood, students? This term bacteria, the term bacteria was first coined by the scientist Ehrenberg. You please pronounce it. Ehrenberg was the scientist who first coined the term bacteria in the year 1829. In the year 1829, the great scientist Ehrenberg, who first used the term for the small tiny living particles like bacteria. Understood? From that time only we are using the term bacteria. This is the term bacteria is a plural term, students. You please remember. This is the plural term. bacteria is not singular. It is the term gives idea. When we are using the term bacteria, it gives meaning is as a group of bacterium. Group of bacteria means bacterium is a singular. So bacteria is a plural, bacterium. What is the term it is, students? Bacterium is a singular. It is a singular form. A large number of bacterium crowded to make bacteria. Now got the point? It is a plural word, it is a singular word. So you please remember bacteria and bacterium whenever we need to use. Understood? You need to have an idea about the terms and terminology and definitions. So here in the chapter bacteria, we are going to discuss about 5 different contents or concepts in the bacteria. In this chapter, we must discuss about 5 different types of concepts and contents. Before going to discuss about all those 5 different types of contents which we learn in the chapter bacteria, understood, we better to recall the idea what we have learnt in the first year. Bacteria are the microbes which they are placing in one category of kingdom what we seen, what given by the R.H. Whittaker in the year 1969. Okay, as a 5 kingdom classification, given by R.H. Whittaker in the year 1969. In the 5 kingdom classification or the plan given to us by the R.H. Whittaker, which is universally accepted classification, what now we follow. In that 5 kingdom classification, what is the kingdom or in which kingdom the category of organisms like bacteria kept? Tell me, the bacteria, okay, placed in one kingdom in the 5 kingdom classification, that is Monera. You please recall it. What it is? Monera. So bacteria is simply called as monerans. Bacteria simply called as monerans. So Monera is a kingdom. Okay, it is an ancient kingdom. Ancient kingdom which we seen as one of the kingdoms in the 5 kingdom classification. That 5 kingdom classification is given by R.H. Whittaker. Okay, what are the 5 kingdoms we have? Like, tell me what it is. I think Monera, Protista, Plantae, Fungi, Animalia. All those are the Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. All those 5 are the 5 kingdoms what we seen in the 5 kingdom classification given by R.H. Whittaker, students. So in that kingdom, Monera is the category or the kingdom which comprises of category of organisms, microorganisms like bacteria. Now got the point? So here now coming to the point, coming to the contents what we learning in the chapter bacteria. That is, first one is we are going to discuss about the chapter bacteria cell structure. The first one is cell structure what we have discussed in the particular chapter, that is morphology. First one is morphology. Morphology of bacteria. Later we go for cell structure, of course. Okay. The first concept and content in the chapter bacteria is morphology of bacteria. The second one is about cell structure. You please note down cell structure. The third one it is nutrition, mode of nutrition what they follow. Mode of nutrition what they follow. The fourth one is how to improve their or increase their generations, proliferate their generations. That is nothing but reproduction. What it is? Reproduction. How to follow reproduction. The fifth one is importance of bacteria to humans. Importance of bacteria to humans. All these 5 different concepts, contents we are learning in the chapter bacteria. What it is? Morphology of bacteria, cell structure means bacterial cell structure, bacterial nutrition, bacterial reproduction, and importance of bacteria to human beings. All these are the 5 different contents we are learning in the chapter bacteria. Now got the point, students? Understood? So tell me, who coined the term bacteria? Who coined the term bacteria? The scientist Ehrenberg. In which year? In the year 1829, who first coined the term bacteria. Until that we don't have idea about that small tiny invisible living organisms. What first seen by the scientist Antony van Leeuwenhoek along with the protozoa. Understood? But later when we have a term, without name it is not possible to identify the organisms. Of course, all our group of organisms are all come under invisible world or microbial world, but they are going to be differentiated based on their shape, structure and behavior. Have you got the point? But every category of these organisms, when they coined by the right and suitable name and term, then it is very much easy to identify the organisms and identify and determine the organism what it is. And we can understand which is the disease, which is the organism causes that particular effects or whatever the problems or whatever the useful aspects we are getting from these microbial world. So that's why name is very important. That name bacteria coined by the scientist Ehrenberg in the year 1829 as bacteria. Bacteria is a plural, bacterium is a singular. You please remember, students. The study of bacteria, the scientific study of bacteria is called bacteriology. In the bacteriology, extraordinary contributions given by the scientist Louis Pasteur. That's why that scientist Louis Pasteur, what he made different experiments on bacteria in the 1850s. Understood? That's why that scientist regarded as the father of bacteriology. And one more important scientist who formed the foundation of the subject microbiology as Robert Koch, who given a concept of germ theory of diseases. How these diseases are traveled from one person to another person, or how it is going to give some effects. Understood? So everything we discussed about the scientists and the concepts which are actually there in the chapter bacteria, all these are the concepts later we'll discuss in the next lecture. At that time just we started these concepts from morphology of bacteria. Morphology of bacteria means just we are discussing about their shape and size. What is the size of the bacteria and what is the shape of the bacteria? Whatever the bacteria we seen here, this is the bacteria has, you please remember, this is very very important point, have simple structure, but you please remember, note this point, but complex in behavior. Complex in behavior. Complex in behavior, simple structure but complex in behavior means their structure is very simple, their composition, construction of the cell and their structure is very simple, but they behave very much complex because diverse nutrition they follow. Because they have diverse nutrition. All these are the bacteria are not follow a mode of nutrition. They follow different kinds of modes of nutrition. Like some are there. Of course, all are come under heterotrophs. Some are there parasites. Some are there symbionts. Some are there decomposers. Now got the point? Like the different kinds of modes of nutrition they follow. Understood? Understood, students? Some of the members of bacteria like cyanobacteria, they perform their own and prepare their own food. Like diverse nutrition they follow. They behave, some are they are acting as some bacteria are very dangerous because they cause us infections, they cause us diseases, dangerous diseases, dreadful diseases caused by the bacteria, and some are they are very much useful to us. Like in the preparation of milk into curd, in the preparations of different fermented dough for fermented materials, sugars for making wine, for making bread, bun, whatever it may be, cakes. To ferment the flour or ferment the material, just we are using bacteria. So like that different kinds of diverse nutrition they follow, and this is the, based on that only we are calling these bacteria has a simple structure but complex in behavior. You please remember, students. Understand students. in which kingdom, in 5 kingdom classification given by R.H. Whittaker, we placed bacteria, we placed in the ancient organisms what we kept in the kingdoms in 5 kingdom classification, that is Monera. So Monera is the category which comprises of ancient first living forms on the earth. Try to understand, like bacteria. Okay, right students? So this is the information about outline information about bacteria. Understood? So we in the next lecture we discuss about in detail information about chapter bacteria. Okay, and already we discussed about they are omnipresent, ubiquitous, everywhere they are present in the soil, water, air, on the surface of the body of animals, plants, and in the surface of the body of plants, animals, and non-living objects. Everywhere we see, and extreme conditions where we are not expecting life, there also, like hot events, hot sulfur springs, cool tundra and snow areas also, in the oceans, everywhere they are present. Understood students? That much information what we gathered here, you please remember everything. In the next lecture we are going to discuss about morphology of bacteria, cell structure, nutrition, reproduction, importance of bacteria to humans. You know, different kinds of modes of nutrition they follow. Some bacteria, they are very much having very much association with the plants, like symbionts, and to the animals and human beings also. You know, right, in the human beings we have different kinds of bacteria, they are inhabitant, like Escherichia coli. E. coli bacteria generally we seen in the intestine of humans, understood, as a natural inhabitant. In the same way, methanogenic bacteria, which is living as inhabitant of digestive tract of the digestive system of the ruminants or animals, like cow, buffalo, like. Understood? Like that, some are, they are very much useful bacteria, and some bacteria like Rhizobium leguminosarum is a bacterium, and you know, right, Frankia, like different kinds of bacteria are also, they are living associated with the legume and non-leguminous plants and their roots for giving, fixing nitrogen, and like that different kinds of okay, modes of nutrition they follow, dear students. So everything we discussed, okay, peripheral information about the bacteria. In the next lecture we go to discuss about morphology of bacteria, which is completely explained by their size and shape. Later we go to discuss about cell structure, modes of nutrition and reproduction, and importance of bacteria to humans. Thank you.